Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brewing with Jim. It's great to be with you. My name is Joseph.
My name is Jim, and I'm glad Joseph is here, and I'm glad I'm here.
Indeed.
And I'm glad you're here, too, listeners.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is a show where we get questions from our audience about any part of life, and it could be about God or the Bible. It could be about school, whatever.
Relationships.
Relationships is a common topic.
Yeah, how do you fix a car?
We haven't gotten
that
those,
one.
actually.
Yeah,
I don't think people trust our skills as mechanics.
Rightfully
which
so.
Is good.
Rightfully
They
so,
shouldn't.
yes.
Anyway,
What's the question today?
Exactly. Today's question, what we try to do, by the way, is provide answers and insight, yada, yada. You know this if you're listening.
Yeah, well, the questions it's good to answer. Yeah.
Today's question, how do you explain the problem of evil to a non-believer? What a question.
That's a big one. Well,
that's a big one.
Okay, let's do it. That question has come to me many, many times, and we have answers for that question. We have biblical explanations for the existence of evil. But it's a difficult question.
Yeah.
It's a difficult question. Atheists, when they are defending what they believe or why they believe there is no God, they have a difficult question with how does something come from nothing? What about creation?
Yeah.
How did that happen if there is no God? Well, there's a big bang. Well, then you need a big banger. Something had to bang together.
Sure.
And they struggle with that. Christians struggle with this question.
Yeah, for sure.
Why is there evil if God is good and God is love and the Holy Spirit is the comforter? Why does evil exist in the world?
Yeah.
The question is simple. The answer is simple, but the understanding of the answer is complex.
That's right.
We are given free choice by God because love requires free choice.
Yeah.
He is love, and we are created in His image with the capacity to love, with the direction and guidance and mandate, really, to love in the Great Commandment. And we know that love is a choice. Love is a choice. We can choose to love or choose not to love. It's part of the definition of love. It's part of what He has given us to know, understand love, 1 Corinthians 13 and chapter 13. So we have the choice to rebel against His expressed will, or we can comply with it.
Right.
Man's nature is to rebel against His will. That happens in Genesis chapter 1.
Yeah.
And we rebel against His will until we understand spiritually and cognitively that His will to love is the reason we were created. It's better for us. Better meaning we're within our created purpose and our being to love and to manifest His love. We have the capacity to do that. And so now, what I just explained to you, and we've said before, listeners, is that the rebellion, the spiritual decision to rebel against His will is called sin. Mm-hmm. The behavior that follows that is often referred to as the sin, and I can go along with that as long as you understand the root of the sin, the fundamental of the sin is to rebel against His will. Evil is an environment. Think of it as the environment that exists when we rebel against God and we separate ourselves from Him. He does not separate Himself from us, but we separate ourselves from Him. Now we're living in an environment that is not our nature, is not our created existence, reason for being.
Right.
And when that happens, we have, and it happened in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve.
That's right.
People say that was the first sin. That wasn't the first sin. Satan was preceded in rebelling against God's will. But nevertheless, we live in this environment, and the consequence of that rebellion is we live in a cursed creation.
Yeah.
We do. Everything is broken in this world. Everything is broken. The weather is broken. The economy is broken. The systems of government are broken.
Yeah.
The morals of people are broken. And make that list as long as you want. Come up with something that isn't broken, and I want to hear about it.
That's right.
Okay, everything is broken. We have consequences in our physical body. Our body is cursed.
Yep.
The creation is cursed. We live in a body that is unredeemed. Our spirit can be redeemed, but this body, we get another one, thank God. And it was, well, you laugh too fast. Looking at my body as you are. We get another body. And this one we have to live in right now, and I can tell you there are problems with it.
Sure.
And we all have that. So we live in a cursed creation in an unredeemed body with a spiritual enemy who is roaming to and fro, trying to divide the brethren, trying to pull us away from God and His will. Now, that is evil. Evil is the environment that we live in. There are no gradations of sin. Sin is sin.
Right.
There are gradations of evil. There are some things that are horrible.
Yeah.
And I, theologically thinking, believe that the gradations of evil depend upon how long it takes to reconcile with another person or with God, and how much interest. Is double parking evil? It is, by definition, because we are to obey the laws of the land as long as they don't violate God's laws.
Sure.
Okay, so yes, it is. But decapitating my neighbor's children, now that is severe.
Yeah.
And the extreme is grotesque.
Of course,
but
of course.
That evil is much stronger. Why does God allow that to exist?
Yeah.
Because He allows love to exist. And the nature we have here is love. Wouldn't it be nice if all this was restored and we were in perfect love? And we will be.
Yeah.
Have you read the end of the book? We are looking forward to having the lion lie down with the lamb. We are looking forward to living in an environment where there is no sin, where there is all love, where there is acceptance, where there is everything wonderful.
Yeah.
So that's why evil exists. Now, some people will not, critics and skeptics will reject what I have just said.
For sure.
And well, that can't be loving. If somebody hurts somebody else on purpose and God allows that, He can't be a loving God. I'm going to therefore dismiss His existence.
Sure.
And that's that's the way He is, and that's the way He has revealed Himself to us to be. I can't argue with the way He is, and I can't argue that He has revealed Himself, at least in part for our limited understanding, to know who He is and what He is. So there you have it.
I love it. Let me play devil's advocate, because I know your experience. Like, let me throw a hard ball, and I know you're still going to hit it. But if I put myself in the shoes of an atheist, and Christians wonder this, I mean, we wonder this ourselves too. You experience or perhaps witness just like abject tragedies, random, out of nowhere. For some reason, the example that sticks in my head right now is like natural disasters.
Okay.
You have the tsunami in Indonesia in, I believe, 2005 or 4. Hurricane Katrina, I think, was 2005. Hundreds of thousands of people died in Indonesia.
Yes.
For no no one did that. No person.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like an attack. It wasn't.
It was weather.
It wasn't malicious. It was weather.
Right.
And if God is all powerful, all knowing, He knew that was gonna happen.
Yes.
And He had the power to stop it. And in fact, there's stories in the Bible of God calming storms.
Right.
Why doesn't God just say, you know what, tsunami, no, and just go, boom, the wave stops, everybody's still alive? I mean, hundreds of thousands of people died. Entire islands were wiped out. Entire families, entire tribes.
Are you ready for me to swing at that?
Absolutely, please.
You say that as though it's a bad thing. Well, yeah, it is from our perspective, But death is not a bad thing according to God. We have the ability the spiritual ability and the cognitive ability to receive, to understand and receive his gift of salvation. And when we have that gift of salvation, the last day of our life is the best day of our life. And regardless of how that happens, yes, we look at the perspective, from our perspective, of all this tragedy that has happened, and the train ran into the truck, and all of these things that are gruesome.
Yeah.
And are unattractive, and I wouldn't want to go through that. And why am I losing everything?
Yeah.
Read the book of Job. And Job lost everything. And it wasn't because he did anything wrong. It was because God allowed it. And God allowed it with giving permission, really, to Satan to do these things. My answer to that would be, the decision and the perception is going to be based on the position.
Sure.
I said that. Let me say it again. Our perception, any perception, is based upon location, upon from where are we viewing something. We are viewing death from the position of never having experienced it.
Sure.
People who have experienced it, according to God's word, are in a much better position if they have accepted what he has offered as a gift.
Sure.
And not only do we have to accept the gift, we have to unwrap it. And we have to unwrap the gift and make it ours. That is the gift of Christ being in us and our being in Christ. Well, what about the people who don't make that decision and make another decision? I am not in that pay grade. That's up to God,
so
what he does there.
Like, let me keep wearing the devil's advocate shoes, because
going.
you can, right? In Indonesia, if 200,000 people died in a tsunami, Indonesia is a country where the vast majority of people are not Christians. So, a vast majority of 200,000 people just died without knowing Christ, and depending on your belief of hell, are now there without the opportunity for more lifespan where they could have encountered Christ. How, you know what I mean? There, you can kind of keep going down this rabbit hole of you can kind of always pin the blame on God when you have the, for lack of a better term, trump cards of he's all knowing and all powerful.
Well, we are saying that they didn't know Christ, but we're not saying, and you did not say, they did not have the opportunity to know Christ.
Sure.
Maybe they didn't have someone preaching the gospel to them from a pulpit while they were sitting in a pew.
Sure.
But Romans chapter 1 tells us that God, his awareness of him is knowledge that is available to everybody, can be seen in his creation, can be seen spiritually, if we are just aware of those things. So I can't say that they didn't have an opportunity. They did not have a survey to check boxes.
Of course.
But they had the opportunity as far as they are able to understand it, and they are able to accept Christ, and they are able to understand it because the acceptance of Christ is not a cognitive decision, it's a spiritual decision. And our spirit has a mind of its own. Our spirit can tell our brain, our mind, what is going on, but that decision is spiritual. And do they have to announce themselves as religious or as Christians or attend churches? None of those are requirements for salvation.
Right.
None of them are.
For sure.
We are saved by grace alone through faith alone. And nothing we do that has anything to do with salvation.
Right.
So there's the answer is yes, they did have the opportunity. Well, what was that opportunity? I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
I don't
it's
know.
probably different per person.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I just can read from God's word that they do have the opportunity to accept or reject.
Right. The sin, the damage, the tragedy, the horror, the grotesqueness of existence is immense.
Yes.
And to me, I'm taking off my devil's advocate shoes here, just for the record. To me, Christianity only makes sense, and I do believe this for the record. Christianity only makes sense if the love and the forgiveness and even the acceptance and open arms of God are bigger than the immensity of the tragedy that creation holds.
Yes, and they are.
That is what I would want to make the point of this episode.
Yes,
and I'm confident in agreement with that.
I am in agreement with that.
The immensity of God's love and protection is beyond what we can even see or experience in this life. And that's really all there is to it.
His love is so great that we don't understand it, and we don't understand that he can look beyond the tragedy, beyond the destruction, beyond the flood, the fire, the earthquake, and so forth. And his love does extend beyond that. It is way beyond that.
Yes.
And it's more than my 3-pound brain can comprehend, but it's there.
It is.
And I accept it, and I know it by faith.
Yes.
By faith. Now, faith isn't just a blind, I don't know what I'm talking about. I just am going to believe it. It's not that. It's not an assent to some sort of fantasy theology. It's what God has declared to be true.
That's right.
And the reason I'm a Christian is because the reason I remain in Christianity is because I believe it is the truth. Yeah. I can see the evidence is undeniable to me. It's compelling.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it would be a different story if God were not all powerful, right? If tragedies and earthquakes and tsunamis and stuff hit and God was powerless to do, that would be a scary scenario for us to be believers in. If God is not actually that powerful to fully encompass all of the tragedy of the world, then what can he quite offer
Believing
us?
That would require more faith than believing he is who he's revealed himself to be.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Any other thoughts on this?
No, but I'm always curious why the questioner is asking the question.
Yeah.
If I could sit down one-on-one, have lunch with the questioner and ask what's going on and why, what answer would be satisfactory to you or what answer would be a pleasure to you to hear, then I would know more what the reason for asking is, and I could address and focus more precisely.
That's absolutely true.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have any more now.
That's great. Let's leave it there then.
Okay.
Let's go to our second segment. This is the Surprise Jim segment where you don't know the question ahead of time. And this is a great example of this. Typically, they have nothing to do with the first segment question. We just address what perhaps is one of the biggest and most challenging questions that we could have received. Jim, the surprise...
Wait a minute. I didn't understand what you just said. We don't receive these questions, do we?
No.
No, you come up with them.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that with the problem of evil stuff.
Oh, that question.
Yeah.
Oh,
we just probably addressed one of the most challenging, deepest questions imaginable.
Yes. Okay.
And now we're about to transition to this, and the juxtaposition is what I was laughing at. Jim, do you have any favorite card or board games that you like to play?
Oh my goodness. Card games, yes.
Okay, talk to me.
Board games, probably not.
Okay.
I like to play hearts.
Oh, yes.
And my parents played hearts when I was a little boy. They had people come over. We didn't, live on watching television and electronic devices and so forth. So they had so much fun doing that. They taught me the game. My grandfather taught me the game. It requires skill, especially if you play partners' hearts.
Yeah.
And that requires a lot of. I love it, and I would never ever buy an app that is a game. And I bought hearts. It was $1.90 something, I think. Yeah. And I play a game of hearts almost every day.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much time. But
hearts
okay, so great, that's a game. But I grew up learning to play cards, gin rummy and cribbage, And cards is fun.
Cards are great.
Cards
yeah.
is fun. I have played poker, but I'm not very good at it. And
Same. Yeah.
That's
Blackjack. Same
no.
thing. Yeah.
Board games. There was a board game that came out, and I forgot the name of it. Extremely popular. It's about a train that goes all over the country.
Is it Ticket to Ride?
Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yes.
Okay, we had our family from Wyoming was visiting, and we had gotten this game. So let's play Ticket to Ride. And Dad in that family said, no, I'm not doing this. I did this once, and it's a total waste of time. He is a tenured professor at the University of Wyoming, has a PhD, has that. And I don't know why I'm giving you that information, except
Sure.
he just doesn't dismiss things without thinking about it.
Sure.
Okay. So I had never played the game before, and I sat down with the surviving members of the family who wanted to play this game. I will never play it again. I will never play that again.
You're going to be on the couch with the professor next time. Yeah.
That thing is put away, and I hope it's put away for a long time. Now, it's very popular, and many people have fun with it. I'm the one who's at fault here, I'm sure.
That's
I
right.
just missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it. I should probably give it a second chance. I won't.
Yeah.
I won't.
Ticket to Ride's a classic, a modern classic, if you will.
I will play games on my iPad.
Yes.
But I will not play a game that has a timer on it.
Same.
That I will
can't stand
not. I
timers.
will not race against a clock to play a game because I do that for a living, and that's not how I relax.
Yes.
That's not entertaining to me. That
Absolutely.
adds tension instead of relaxation.
Yes.
And so, if a game has a timer, and I'm talking about solitaire games, and there's some that require no thought, and there's some
Right.
that require enormous thought.
Yes.
And if it has a timer on it, I'll just turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not using that.
It's a very specific story, and it's so specific that it's kind of funny. Ticket to Ride specifically has this funny place in my brain where we got it as a family probably 10 years ago, and we played it pretty often and enjoyed it. And then at some point, I discovered that there was a Ticket to Ride iPad app that I bought, and that app ruined the board game for me.
How so?
It automates so many aspects of it
Oh,
that it goes so quickly that when I have tried to play the board game version of it now,
it falls flat.
it just feels agonizingly slow because you're shuffling cards, you're counting up points, the time it takes to go around the table for it to be your turn again, whereas the computer just automates. So you can just play, whereas the board game now has a bunch of like organization and waiting and this and that. So exact same game, and it's broken
But
me.
there are people who have many, many board games and love them.
Yeah,
And
I would
play.
consider myself a member of one of those kinds of
Really?
families. Yeah, we love playing board games. We have at my parents' house an entire closet that goes from about waist height to like ceiling height. That's about 2 feet deep and 2 wide doors open. That are all board games.
$75,000 worth of board games.
Not quite. Probably more. It's an immense collection that's been built in some of those board games.
Who initiated that? Your dad? Your mom?
Probably me. There are board games that have been around since before I was around. That my parents
like all of
got,
them.
well, sure, but that my parents had when they were younger. But I think the addition and the involvement is me. So me in my 20s.
Okay.
10 years
So
ago.
you did that.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I bear responsibility for some of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember playing Clue, and I enjoyed Clue.
It's a great game. Yeah.
I remember playing Monopoly several times. I don't like that game.
Monopoly's terrible.
And
everybody.
I don't
kind
care
of
for
knows
that one.
Yeah.
And there are some board games that I guess are popular around. I hear about Dungeons and Dragons. That is a board game, right?
That would be considered
there are people,
a tabletop role-playing game.
Oh,
Jim.
okay.
So
All right.
the difference there is in Dungeons and Dragons, you have one player who, first of all, every player in Dungeon. I love that Brewing with Jim is turning in, even for a brief moment. Joseph explains Dungeons and Dragons to Jim. This is a special time in my life, and I'm going to savor it for all it's worth. So Dungeons and Dragons takes place.
Well, you're assuming no one else has explained it to me. No, go ahead.
Apparently not if you think it's a board game. But no, the way it works is everybody plays a different character. You get to create your own character. There's different weaknesses and strengths to them. They have a backstory that you've written, all that kind of stuff. And then there's one person at the table whom they call the Dungeon Master, or the DM, and they are the person that has written a story ahead of time. They've actually crafted a world. They've done world building. They have characters that the players are going to end up interacting with. There's locations they can travel to. But ultimately, it is the Dungeon Master's job to kind of play as the world that they have set up.
Does somebody win this game?
Yeah.
There's a winner?
Typically, it's a team-based thing. So let's say I'm a dungeon master and there are 4 other players at this table that are each a different character. Typically, it's like those 4 people are like banded together and they work together to go through the world, meet different characters, wander around, discover items.
So this becomes a social evening.
100%.
For all these people. And that's why they do this every Wednesday night.
Exactly.
Or they have they have regular meeting times and they sit and do. That's my experience from listening to the people who are who are playing this game.
It's a social interaction. To be honest, I've never actually taken part in a game of Dungeons and Dragons, but I know people. And I've watched people that play through games, and some of these campaigns can be dozens of hours long, as when you add up all of the time. And
let me ask you a question. When somebody is that involved in the game like that, is the question ever asked internally, introspectively? Is there something else that I could be doing during all these hours that would be more pleasurable for me? And reading, writing, I'm a nerd anyway.
Sure.
But I just can't imagine spending.
I'm sure people evaluate that.
We have family members who sit down and work crossword.
That's the thing, right?
I misspoke. Work jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah.
And they.
There you go.
Okay.
Everybody just
derive
has their
much pleasure
thing.
from that.
Yeah.
I have done a lot of jigsaw puzzles, it seems, when I was younger. I will live a full life if I never work another jigsaw puzzle.
Sure. Yeah. To answer your question, it's like I think everybody just has their hobbies, and I think what you can say at least about Dungeons and Dragons is it's actually quite sociable and creative.
Okay,
right?
well, that might be a plus.
Yeah, I think
it requires innovative thought.
It does, yeah, because there isn't like a rule book. I mean, there are literally rule books, but like when it comes to a scenario that your friend who plays the dungeon master has like literally written, like they are an author. They have crafted a world, and they've crafted locations, and they've crafted characters that they are bringing to the table.
Yeah.
You are controlling a fictional character that you have written a backstory for.
Okay.
And you get to go into your friend's world and say, I don't know, let me wander over to the tavern. And then the DM says, you encounter this grisly-looking man at the bar that says that there's a hidden treasure up this mountain. Do you want to go? You know what I mean? So like,
sort of.
It's completely creative in that sense.
Okay.
And then it's also social. I think that's better than a lot of things people spend their time and money doing.
Well, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
I don't know how, but let's do it.
Please tune in next time as we start our first Dungeons and Dragons campaign.
Yeah, no, I'm not on it. No.
We want to thank our audience as always for listening, no matter the rabbit holes that we go down. This is a show that we enjoy making, and we want to invite you, as always, to reach out to us. We have an email address set up that is brewingwithjim@gmail.com. If you have your own questions, if you want to share your own Dungeons and Dragons campaign,
No, I don't want to hear about it.
If you,
No.
if you want to tell us where you're listening from or how you heard about the show, we would love to hear from you.
All those other things.
Especially the Dungeons and Dragons campaigns.
Oh, Joseph, please.
Brewingwithjim@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you back next week.
Take care, everybody.
This episode has been a production of the Capistrano Valley Christian Schools Podcast Network. CVCS is a Christian TK through 12 school in San Juan Capistrano, California. Please visit cvcs.org/podcasts to listen to the variety of shows our students produce on our campus. You can also find all of our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and others. We would also appreciate you subscribing to and leaving a review of this show and the other shows on our network in your podcast player of choice. If you have any questions or would like to reach out to us, please email podcasts@cvcs.org. On behalf of the school, this is Mr. Jasper, the executive producer of the podcast network. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more.